is Greg, and I am the video guy here at Barefoot Rehab in Denville, New Jersey. Normally you would see someone else's face on camera instead of this one. This is more face for radio, as they used to say. But I actually wanted to do the intro to this video myself because it was a really special event. About a week and a half ago, Melissa from our office, who some of you may know, reached out to me because she had discovered something. We had this plant in the office that was right about to wind up in the dumpster. We decided to give it a second chance. Our wonderful staff worked to rehabilitate it, and it produced these two buds. Melissa, seeing that these buds had grown exponentially in size over time, on this day just decided to take a picture of it and send it to ChatGPT to try to ID the flower to see what kind of plant this was. The plant is a queen of the night plant, and this is a desert plant that blooms, its flower blooms one time per year for one night overnight. No one really sees this thing when it blooms. It's meant as to be a nighttime pollinator for moths and bats and things like that. So she reached out to me and texted me and said, hey, this thing apparently is, according to ChatGPT, was about ready to go, and if I wanted to come over and shoot it. I'd never done a flower time lapse before. I've done very few time lapses before. So my initial hesitation, because of my confidence in shooting something like this, especially something that I would only really get one shot at, I wasn't sure I was going to do it. And I spoke to my wonderful fiance, who couldn't believe that I had any hesitation to begin with, and was like, go shoot this. And I was like, oh shit, you're absolutely right. I actually totally should go do this. So I placed an order at Dick's Sporting Goods for a pickup for an air mattress, and I went and picked it up on the way here. I got here around, like, I would say 4 o'clock. I set up multiple lights. You have to keep the lights kind of dim, because if this thing senses that there's like sunlight, it actually won't bloom, or it'll only half bloom. So I had to really be very careful with how I adjusted these lights to make it look kind of moonlightish. And then I set up 3 cameras and rigged them at intervals so that they would shoot about every 15 seconds. And my plan was to set the cameras overnight and go to sleep. Once I saw the flower start to bloom around 8:30, it dawned on me that I was going to be the only person to see this flower reach its zenith, its full potential. Maybe this is a little egocentric, but it felt like this flower was about to do this performance of its life cycle from me, just me. And it felt wrong to sleep. It felt wrong to leave it alone. So I stayed up all night with this flower. I shot it for roughly about 12 hours. I was up until about 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's funny, I had my bed all set up and everything, and I've never actually laid in it. At one point I was playing guitar to it and singing to it just to help coax it along, make it feel like it was in a good place.
Don't really care. Let there be songs that fill the air.
I don't know if that matters at all, but it just somehow felt like the right thing to do. It was one of the most awe-inspiring, jaw-dropping things I've ever seen, and the smell was beautiful. It was this very fragrant, floral, citrusy, almost eucalyptus type of smell. It smelled like a hint of like lemon tea and icy hot and flowers. It was beautiful. It was incredible. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life as a photographer. I took 3,700 shots over the course of the night from 3 different cameras. I was surprised at how good it came out, I think. The time lapse of a flower, and I had 1 shot to get it, and I nailed it, I think. I hope. I don't know. You're gonna see it in a minute. But the reason, again, why I wanted to be the one to do the introduction to this video is just because of how personal it was to me. And, you know, I try to live very symbiotically with nature. I have a deep relationship with animals, the flora and fauna around my home. My fiance calls me Snow White because the animals are just constantly around me, and they let me pet them, they let me be near them. This was just kind of one more step, I feel, towards understanding nature a little bit better and being able to see the beauty in something that pre-exists me by hundreds of thousands of years, maybe even millions. It was kind of crazy to be part of this this one moment in time. You know, no matter what else is going on in the world, that these things still happen every day. Well, in this case, once a year. So thank you for sitting through this introduction so that you can see this video. And I really, really hope you enjoy this bloom of the Queen of the Night flower.